The Creeping Terror. This is actually a bit of a notorious one. This is a classic bad movie. I think the thing that most is memorable about this, and really the only reason it's memorable, is the monster. I ripped on the monster in Devilfish a bit. I've made fun of some of the other monsters. There is nothing like the monster in The Creeping Terror. It's basically a handful of people with just a rug thrown over them, and it looks like it's sort of... I mean, you can see their feet underneath the costume. It looks like it's supposed to be some sort of slug plant, and it sort of eats people by slowly walking over them, and then you can tell the people are crawling into it to make it work. It's pretty damn pathetic. And there's constant humor with it. You know, people don't realize it's coming, or they'll stand there and just yell as it's slowly moving towards them. It's really astounding. Apart from that, I mean, you get the same... I can really easily compare this movie to something like Giant Gila Monster, in that there is, like, inexplicable dancing scenes. All the people are not particularly... They don't react very naturally when they see a monster. As with Giant Gila Monster, they were being attacked by stock footage, so what you gonna do? In this, they just, you know, are very... One guy tries to attack it with a guitar, as I remember it. The police, when they finally go after it, are very ineffective, even though it moves super slowly. They don't just run away. Nobody just runs away from the damn thing. They just sort of wait for it to kill them. And there wind up being, I think that winds up there's two of them, and I think they actually do kill one earlier on or something. Anyway, I love the ending of this, where they sort of talk about, well, it came from another planet. Who knows if it's actually intelligent or not? Maybe if it ever comes back, maybe we'll be able to coexist. I mean, it was not discriminate in its killing of people. It's just one of those kind of goofy messages. So as far as the behind-the-scenes stuff, which is where it gets really interesting, I was reading about the trivia on this one. Apparently there's rumors that there was an actual monster that was designed for this movie, and then it got stolen, so they had to improvise, and I can believe that. This looks like a pretty damn improvised monster. Another one is that this is a super low-budget affair, to the point where they were actually... It was partly produced in the sense of money for it was made from the actors. They actually sold parts in the movie to people that were gullible enough to give money to be in a movie, which explains the bad acting, I do believe. So this is sort of an iconic, sort of skeevy bad movie. It's been constantly, you know, lauded for years and years and years. Like, this is on an Ed Wood level of movie production. Interestingly enough, this is not Ed Wood, and it's not Roger Corman, which even puts it even lower. It's below them, somehow.
And you will never see incompetence more sincere than in The Creeping Terror.
The Creeping Terror, as a film, is a monster. But there's another story behind who The Creeping Terror really is.
The guy who made it was a con man who supposedly had escaped from Joliet prison and convinced all these bored housewives and plumbers and music teachers that he was a big-time movie maker named A.J. Nelson, and he was going to make the biggest monster movie ever to hit Hollywood.
He would stand in the mirror and pretend that he was Hitler. Then he'd say, "I'm God."
The more you know about the story behind the film, the wilder it gets.
If you get a box set of bad movies, there's probably 50-50 chance this is on it. I think I have 6 copies of this movie from various box sets. I have not watched it on Riff, though. I don't want to do that. The MST3K riff of it is pretty good. It makes it much more watchable. It also, the plot doesn't work much. It's mostly, you get scenes of people in fields, and then the monster shows up and crawls towards them, and they get eaten. And I think it gets swampy at times, but no, it's mostly just fields. Very pleasant fields, I suppose. People picnicking with a guitar and their family, and things like that. This really is a boring movie, but, I mean, after you get the first few laughs when you see the monster, after that, it's just the same thing over and over again. And then you're like, you can sort of enjoy the old school style of what the characters are wearing and stuff like that. And the always necessary inexplicable dance scene in the horror movie, they don't do that anymore, as far as what I've seen. But these old movies, like Giant Gila Monster, they have a dance hall scene. In this, they also have a dancing scene. I guess it was a bigger thing back then. But obviously the dancing style is like, wow, we're back in time now, are we? They don't realize how much that dates these movies, I guess. It really does feel like jumping back in a time machine to when the real bad movies were made. Yeah, I'll get back into that once I talk about the wild world of Batwoman. Is really bad about that. Anyway, that's The Creeping Terror. I almost feel like this is worth watching a clip. Watch the trailer, see the bad movie monster in this. Apart from that, there's not really anything else to catch in the movie itself. And there's plenty of trailers and clips of this out there. The MST3K is not bad if you really want to sit through the whole thing, but really the punch to this is seeing that monster design. It looks horrid, like a sea cucumber of death or something. Anyway, that's The Creeping Terror.